With the example of Markov, it could very easily be argued that the Pale King had harnessed the void and was locking the Moth tribe away. But they could already be there. The very first item we get is the Mothwing Cloak. And I found that exceptionally odd considering that the entire time our enemy is a giant moth. And yet the very first item we get is related to the Moth tribe. So did the Pale King actually hate the Moths or just the Radiants? And really when you look at the lore, maybe it's just the Radiants. But I'm going to end on that note. I'm not going to end it here, but we're going to come back to the Radiants to end this. We're going to dive back down into the Abyss real fast, and we are going to explore the Workbench. That would also explain locking away Monomon. That would. Monomon's probably locked away because she is a dreamer. And the Pale King realizes that to lock anybody inside of the dream world, you have to have a dreamer. You have to have those seals to bind it. As you defeat the dreamers, the sun slowly comes up. The Radiance returns to power. When we beat the first dreamer or we unlock the Monarch Wings, the infected crossroads happen. And our lives become a living hell. Let's face it. But that being said, probably just the Rad. Probably, yeah, I fucking agree with that. Because the rest of the Moth tribe actually turned to the Pale King. They abandoned the Radiance. But we gain these abilities by accepting the Void. Even in our own spells, where we use Soul. Soul and Void act as one. And we know that the air around us contains soul because we can actually harness it with the king's soul, which is a useless goddamn fucking charm that takes up way too many slots and is garbage, and it gets replaced really quick once we go down to the birthplace, which is where we're headed. So we make our way back left. We find a workbench and we find the description to the Void Tendrils. I honestly don't remember the description of the Void Tendrils. Somebody want to look that up, throw it down in the chat, that'd be awesome. But they're fucking dicks. That's what we're going to go with. Like, hey, this is some Void that's been given some fucking animation. It's Void. It's garbage. It fucking hates you. Don't fuck with it. But after we make our way back left and we have actually collected the King's Soul, a new area to the Abyss opens. And we can go deeper and we can see the true extent of what the Pale King was doing. Exactly how many of our siblings, that just overflowed, fuck me. How many of our siblings the Pale King had actually killed and abandoned in the Abyss? And it's a lot. It is stacked exceptionally deep. And we venture through it. We venture through spikes and through more siblings just to find the Black Egg, our birthplace. We were buried beneath corpses. And when we strike that Black Egg with our Dream Now, we enter into our own minds. Which is meta as fuck. Going into other people's minds, I totally get. Going into our own minds, that's insane. Something that's really a small detail that I found really interesting was the fact that when we strike our own reflection, it disappears. Andrew, thank you for joining. Renee Riker, I'm excited to see the real Jeremy on live. We drinking, son. We drinking. We're one beer down, we're one glass of whiskey down, and we're on beer number 2. And actually, I'm secretly on beer number 3 or 4. I don't remember, because I started drinking before this. So, we go down, and we literally go through the bodies of our dead siblings. And we reach the bottom, and we reach that black, broken egg, which has a connection to the very end of the game. Because where we end the game is the Temple of the Black Egg. Where we find the Mask Maker is a giant black egg. The arcane eggs are black. All of these things are connected, and Team Cherry does such a wonderful job, and it sounds like I'm just jerking them off, but fuck it, whatever. Obviously, I like the game or I wouldn't be here. We have such amazing detail and such parallelism, or we can draw parallels from what we see in the beginning of the game to what we see in the end. And something amazing about that is all of your minor bosses, your mini bosses, and your enemies all do those same attacks that final boss is going to do. So by the time we reach that final boss, we actually have learned all of those moves, and it doesn't feel as intimidating. But we can also draw that with the lore. We can see that we are born in the Black Egg, and we have come from the Black Egg, and it contains the Void. It contains our kind. And that's exactly where the Pale King has locked the Hollow Knight. In the Temple of the Black Egg. A literal construct built out of another dead bug, housing a black egg to house the Void and the infection. And that's phenomenal that we can draw those parallels and we can see them all the way throughout the game. And in later editions of either Thirsty Thursdays or Drunk Discussions, whatever you want to call it, or in some Look Deepers, we're going to get into those parallels. We will take a very strong look at how we are set up the whole way through to see the end of the game if we saw the clues. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't see the clues going into it. I go back, I read the wiki, I go back and I explore all of this myself. Xbox gives you 4 game files. I've got one, my daughter's got one, and then I use the other 2 to explore and to go back and experience these things again, because you have to experience them a second time and a third time and so on so that you can fully grasp all of it, because there is so much to it. And when we are all the way down in the birthplace and we have unlocked this and we get to see the black egg and we enter into our memory and we get to see that black egg contains the memories of the Hollow Knight, we can draw the exact same parallel that black egg temple up top also too now contains the Hollow Knight. And so that's exceptionally well done, in my opinion, that we get such amazing foreshadowing without ruining it. Because you can foreshadow things and make them extremely easy to tell. But the Abyss was done in such a way that it gave us all of these clues without telling us. And it told us very little. It asked more questions than it answered, and I can't stress that enough. I have so many questions about the Abyss, and I would love for you guys to, bro, this was fire, I'm telling your mom. Dude, thank you. My mom's going to be fucking proud as shit. Cheers to that. My mom's going to fucking be proud. But we get the foreshadowing to the very end of the game. The base game. Not Gods in Glory or Godmaster as it was renamed. But the base game. We get to go to the end. So that's your actual face. I didn't know you were actually Timothy Fraud's alt. I thought you were joking. No, I'm fucking Timothy Fraud. Or Timothy Mark. Or actually, you know what? Hold up. No, Damien. Fuck that dude. Like, legitimately. I think I picked up a ban one time for telling him that I hoped he got butt cancer. But I'm going to go on the record and just say, like, I legitimately hope he gets butt cancer. And then I hope it gets cured. And then he gets it again and it's inoperable and he fucking dies. Because I just don't give a fuck. I legitimately just don't give a fuck. But fuck you, you got me off on a tangent. The Abyss was so well done and it was so perfectly executed that we can see the end of the game without ever seeing the end of the game. We know what we'll find in the Temple of the Black Egg. We know what the Black Egg contains. And ultimately, just like the black egg we find in the abyss, we know it's broken. It's incomplete. It's not whole. And when we get that, something unreal happens. We also obtain the Void Heart. The Void Heart? Fucking, that's the fucking thing. The fuck is the name of that charm? You know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it consumes the King Soul, which is another really interesting aspect of the game. It literally consumes another charm. The void wraps itself around the King's soul. And it becomes just as we are. Born of God and void. This charm is always equipped. It is always with us. It is in us. It is part of us, and it takes up no slots. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I don't believe it does. King Soul goes to Void Heart. Thank you. So it is us. And we get to draw, again, a parallel between this charm that has now been consumed by the void as we have. We have embraced it and we have become one with it. We are no longer part God and part void. We have fused and we have become one. And that is the ultimate ending in it. No slot, perfect. That is the ultimate ending, is when we ascend the Pantheon of Hallownest and we finally defeat Abzrad. We either unlock or we become the Shade Lord. And that in and of itself is exactly what the Void Heart represents. A god. A god that is both a god and is void. It is death and it is ultimate. It comes for everyone. And that's everything, right? Like, no bug, no man, no body can escape death. And here we are confronted with the Lord of Death. And so, we ascend. We ascend out of our birthplace, now containing, or now holding, now possessing the Void Heart. And our siblings no longer attack. The void tendrils no longer attack. We have mastered void. And if you make your way right once you are up in the abyss again and out of the birthplace, and you dream nail the dead bug at the end, I believe it actually calls you like the Lord of Shade. Oh, don't worry, we'll get to the delicate ending. I'll give you that one. But it calls you the Lord of Shade. This does a couple things. This means that bug is still conscious inside that body. Whether it's dead or not, it recognizes the change. It recognizes that you have become more. You are not just the vessel anymore. You are something otherworldly. You are godly. You are ascended. The delicate ending, where we have the delicate flower delivered to first the Trader Lord's child. Fuck that quest. Fuck that quest. Fuck that quest. Actually, I did it I think on my third try. The first time. And then after that, I've done it a couple times. The first time I got really lucky and it took me 3. The second time, I don't know, it took me 27 or something. It was insane. I just kept fucking dying. And you know where I die is the fucking thorns. The thorns at the very goddamn end. Who the fuck dies there? The fucking shitty ass thorns.